All right, ladies and gentlemen. So today I'm going to be talking about what specifically you should be focusing on as a fitness coach or a coach of some sort online. What a lot of you guys don't realize is if you're a coach online trying to get clients, trying to make money, a lot of you guys don't understand that you're at the mercy of what other people do that are called competitors, other players in your games. If they do more volume than you, if they make better content than you, if they spend more money on ads than you, they're going to beat you, right? If they do specific messaging things that appeal to your audience on a better level, they're going to beat you, right? There are so many factors in the equation of appealing to a market. And if you don't understand these, especially in a market like online fitness coaching or online coaching in general, you're going to have a very difficult time. Okay. So the entire thesis of this video is to show you guys how and give you a presentation on what you need to understand about the online coaching market if you're trying to make money in this space. Okay. I've been in this space for not super long, only around 2.5, 3 years. Okay. But I've been able to generate over $50,000 a month. My top month was just around 70K. Okay. And I've been able to sustain around $50,000 a month in the online space. Okay. You may think that's impressive. You may think that is fucking dog shit, depending on who you are. All right. So let's jump into this, and I'm going to give you guys this presentation right now. So with online coaching, we pretty much saw a massive spike in the amount of people who got into online coaching around COVID. Okay. So for example, taking the online fitness coaching niche, like think about it. During COVID, there were all of these people who were working in person and they couldn't work in person because, you have to get your injection or whatever. Okay. And thousands of coaches, gym owners, fitness businesses rushed online because they're like, okay, well, we're going to go online to make money. Okay. Which meant that on top of the existing marketing conditions, the market supply continued to raise higher and higher, making it more and more competition for people in the online fitness space. Okay, so pretty much what happened was the market supply increased, but the demand roughly stayed the same. Okay, which if you think about, what does that do? If there's more people competing for the pie, but the pie stays the same, then then there's just more competition. It's kind of annoying. And since 2021, this number has only just simply been increasing as more people have been, I want to say brainwashed in a sense, or sold this idea that they have to go online in order to make money, that they can't make money in an in-person business. The money's online, right? Which, yeah, there's money online, but there's also money in person, of course. But the space, like more people have just been going online time and time again. And due to this large spike of new competition, the market becomes even more selective. Okay. The same selection process we see is in nature, same thing applies with business. Okay. So if you understand biology or natural selection to some level, doesn't matter if you're religious or not religious or whatever, natural selection is pretty much the process of there are a lot of competitors competing to, for example, spread their genetics, pass down their traits, and spread their lineage. And some groups will survive better than other groups because of features, how they look, whatever specific little things that will allow them to thrive or not thrive. Okay. And the same thing is applying with these people in online fitness coaching or online coaching in general. Okay. Whenever there's an increase of variation or simply more participants in a market, the market will quickly select for the most suited participants. For example, the Ice Age happened about 10,000 years ago, for example. During the Ice Age, thousands of species were wiped off of the face of the earth, and we don't even know about a lot of these species. We don't even know about. We can't even track. Okay? But some were able to survive. Humans were able to survive and adapt. Okay? So same thing is happening now and happened for the past 4 years. More and more people are getting into the space, and it's just more and more competition. Okay. And that's pretty much what I call a red ocean market. Okay. Or what the writer of Blue Ocean, what's the name of the book? Blue Ocean Market, Blue Ocean something, wrote in his book, pretty much with this space being a clear red ocean. Okay. Where there's a lot of competition, a lot of people, and you are just kind of, in a sense, playing an uphill battle. Okay. And we're seeing this through something called the Pareto principle, which states that only 20% of inputs lead to 80% of outputs. Okay. So within the fitness industry, the same law is applied. Within the online coaching industry, same law is applied. Roughly 20% of the fitness coaches and influencers, brands, etc., will produce 80% of the market output. Meaning, for example, 20% of the people in the space are probably making over 150, 200 grand a month, and then 80% are probably making in the range of $1,000 to $3,000 a month. There's a big wealth gap. Okay. This means that out of 10 businesses within the space, only 2 will actually truly be successful and be legitimate in the sense of running an actual business. Okay. And over the years of working with hundreds of businesses within the fitness niche and the online coaching niche, I've narrowed down the key differences between the winning and losing models so that you guys can apply these and pretty much gain something called leverage. And this is the big differentiator between businesses that do really good and businesses that don't. It's just how much leverage you have. And pretty much in an extent, like in a nutshell, what leverage is there is an input of some sort and you get an output from that input. You read a book and you learn something from that book that then you can apply to make money or benefit you in some way or another. Some inputs, okay, have different outputs. Okay. So for example, in this sense, in a physics sense, okay, if I move the fulcrum based off of this teeter-totter mechanism in a sense, okay, I will be able to generate more force on the opposite end based off of my initial input, my initial effort. Okay? So when it comes to leverage in business, your input to output ratio has to be leveraged, meaning you have to have a small to big output. Small input to big output, that is essentially what leverage is. Okay? Everything in life runs on inputs and outputs. Everything you can think about, you do something, you get something. The problem is that most people have a symmetrical input to output return, meaning they put one input in and they get one output out. Okay? For example, you have to work 1 hour to make $20 if you work at McDonald's or you work a minimum wage job. Okay? You have to do your one input to get your one output. There's no one action you could do that can generate an infinite, or a massive asymmetrical return from that initial input. Okay, these people operate with no leverage, chasing more volume like most gurus preach. You know, as we see a lot of people online, you just have to work harder. You have to just continue to put your nose to the grindstone, continue to do work, especially when you don't feel like it. Discipline, which is good to an extent, but in the sense of leverage, it doesn't really make sense. Because let's say you're working a McDonald's job and I say, hey man, you just got to continue to work harder. Like just keep working extremely hard. Go tack on as many shifts as you can at McDonald's and you're going to make $100K a month soon. Is that realistic? Obviously not. But the same mentality is so many online coaches have the same mentality. Okay? You got to work harder. Post 5 times a day. Outwork everyone. Grind the 12 hours. Okay? The problem is that if you always have a symmetrical return on your inputs, you'll always have to work for your money. Essentially enslaving yourself to your own business. You're not working on your business, you're working in your business. It's a very old saying, but it's true. Okay? And I made the same mistake when I was starting out. I thought more volume would save me. I started posting religiously on TikTok every day, telling myself that the inputs from going into the gym every day and working hard would directly translate to my business. Oh, I have this great level of discipline because I work out. I, even work out when I don't feel like it. It took a lot of work to do this. So then I know how to do that. I'm going to apply that level of discipline to my business and work really hard and make a lot of money. And that led me to nowhere because I had no leverage. Okay. I started this TikTok page. I had, some videos that blew up, I was like, oh, I'm going to sell programs. I'm going to make a lot of money. And it got me nowhere. I made no money from it. Okay. And it wasn't until I read a book called 10X is Easier Than 2X that I realized I needed to stop trying to work harder and instead gain leverage. Okay. So pretty much the thesis of this is you want to, the thesis of this book is that you want to disconnect all in all your inputs to your outputs in a sense. Okay, you want a bigger return from your inputs. Okay, so your money, your time, your effort, you want to get more out of that. Okay, the core principle in this book is that achieving a significantly larger goal, 10x, is often more effective and less exhausting than making small incremental improvements. This approach requires a mindset shift from working harder to working smarter by focusing on your unique strengths, eliminating non-essential activities, and adopting a clear vision to create a pathway to breakthrough results rather than simply doing more. All in all, doubling down on your strengths, not trying to be a one-size-fits-all solution for everybody, not trying to be a one-size-fits-all solution for all of your things that you're mediocre or you're decent at. Okay, so let me give you an example of this. Let's say I'm running 5 different methods to get clients. I'm doing cold outbound, I'm doing warm outbound, I'm doing cold email, I'm doing ads, and I'm doing content. And let's say I do this for a couple months, and then I realize, holy shit, me running ads is getting me so much more clients than content. At that point in time, most of your leverage is coming from content or from paid ads. You need to shift all of your resources to paid ads and go all in on that channel now. Okay? It's very simple. So, and I've even learned this the hard way as well. It's a lot, like the same amount of effort it will take you to hit 10K a month would be for you to hit 100K a month. For me to get from 0 to 10K a month was a ton of work. For me to get from 20K a month from 10K a month to 25, 30K a month was probably the same, maybe a little bit less. For me to get to 50, 60K a month, it was probably a little bit even less. Why? Because I built systems. I was focusing on the things that had the most leverage to get me the most results. Okay? And that's pretty much what this book kind of taught me. So going 10x involves the continuous process of increasing the quality and decreasing the quantity of everything you do. Because the reality is that trying to input more volume into an unleveraged system just scales inefficiently. Okay? Let me repeat that. Volume into an unleveraged system is inefficiency. It's like putting a ton of gas into a car that's broken, that has a horrible engine. And a lot of you guys are doing this. Like, just think if you're a coach and you're watching this. Think of examples of you thinking, I just have to do more volume. So rather than always working for your money with symmetrical returns, if you want your money to work for you, you need to find asymmetrical returns. Okay? Asymmetrical returns are the inputs that lead to much larger outputs. These are the 20% of actions in your business that create 80% of the outcomes. So if you're somebody who, let's say, goes to the gym, if you want an 80% outcome, what are the 20% of actions that you do that result in 80% of the outcomes? Very simple. Sleep and diet. If you can nail those, you will get 80% of the output. Lifting and the stuff you do in the gym maybe accounts for 20%, 30%, but the meat of it is diet and sleep. We all know this. So instead of trying to work harder, do more volume, like most people preach, okay, they're trying to sell you this dream of, oh, just keep working hard, work hard, work hard. And they'll sell you their mindset course. To identify these needle-moving actions, you need to sit down and actually analyze your entire business and build systems that multiply your effort across every variable. And this is the thing I just want to touch on. With a lot of gurus who say do more volume, work harder, then they sell you this mindset course, it is kind of cope in a sense for the fact of they don't know how to actually sit and look at their business from an objective point of view and see what they have to do better, how they can work smarter, how they can optimize this thing, and look at their business from a mathematical point of view and optimize. They can't do that. Instead, their brain is kind of like a monkey brain. It's like, oh, let me just work harder. Sure, like these people, they can go work harder, that's fine. But it does take a lot of effort to genuinely sit and face the music and sit and say, I'm not going to do work, but I'm going to see what I'm doing wrong. Because sometimes when you're doing work, you feel good. You're like, oh, I'm doing work. I worked hard today. But you're not actually doing calculated work. And that's a really difficult thing for a lot of people to face Okay, especially people who are like really disciplined characters, like really like, working hard, early morning, ice bath sort of people. It's hard for them to do that and actually analyze their business. It's difficult, and a lot of people don't. Okay. So when I say and multiply your effort across every variable, you can have leverage in a bunch of things. Okay. Pretty much, if you want max leverage in a business, you have to be in a good market. Okay. Have good offer and pricing, a good acquisition channel, mechanism, and then delivery. That's all a business is. Okay. And the better you can optimize each of these, the more money you will make. So if you're going to play the business, play to win. Don't play to just make 10K a month, or don't play to just be a glorified employee. Okay. You need to gain leverage across every variable. So I'm going to walk you guys through each of these variables here in somewhat of a brief manner so that you guys can understand this and hopefully gain some leverage. So number one is market. So selecting your winning segment. So number one is who you're selling to matters more than the what or the how. And this is what I need a lot of you guys to understand. So when it comes to your offer, when it comes to like your acquisition channel, all that stuff matters a lot for sure. But what matters more than that is who you're selling to. If you're selling to somebody that, for example, really needs your solution, is ready to buy right now, and is in immense pain, you can offer them a mediocre offer with a mediocre solution, with a mediocre delivery, but they'll still buy because the who is so valuable. That's pretty much it. Okay? So using the exact same process Alex Hormozi used with Gym Launch, will break down how to identify the best segment of your market. So how do you pick the best market? So number one, survey your clients. Understand demographics, who they are, age, gender, political affiliation, geographic location, etc. Aspirations, what's their goal upon purchasing your services and products? What problem were they trying to solve? Buying process, what's the single biggest reason they bought? Were there a trigger event that caused them to buy? Did they consume pieces of content? Okay. Just look at who within your business is the person who's spending the most money, what that person looks like, what's the differences between bad customers, etc. Find your biggest spenders, look for patterns, see what's coming up. Just very simple pattern recognition, and then execute. Once you have this, you need to do two things. Speak to your new avatar, be upfront about exactly who you help, and get all your advertising to speak directly to them. Doing this, you repel bad customers and attract good ones, just qualification. At the same time, stop selling to anyone who does not meet your ideal customer requirements. Then increase effort on the channels that your best people come through. And then B, re-engineer the sales process. Look at what caused these better customers to buy, and then reverse engineer it. Very simple. Number two, offer. So offer is pretty much based off of the idea that quality is better than quantity within your offer and pricing. Most coaches struggle with pricing because they think low ticket is the safe option. So many coaches, so many people in the online space are selling low ticket, school community, ebook, whatever. Waste of time. Don't do low ticket, 200, 300, 400, 500 bucks a month. Waste of fucking time. Don't do it. Don't do it. Waste. Okay. And why is this, for example, why is low ticket bad? Okay. Most people who are selling low ticket, why they're selling low ticket is they look around, they see what everyone else is doing, and therefore that must be the way to price. It's very simple. Okay. And that's wrong because very simple, the math behind it. 50 low ticket clients at 500 is 25K. 5 high ticket clients at 5K is 25K. Okay. Same revenue, but with 50 clients, you'll drown trying to deliver results. And also, which one will get better treatment? Which one will actually take the goal seriously? Ask yourself. Okay. So never compete on price. If you compete on price, it's almost like dating and competing on like how rich you are, for example. Like going up to girls and being like, oh, your ex-boyfriend made 100K, I make 120K. Like, it's kind of a simpy way to go about business. Someone's always willing to undercut you, forcing you to compete on price, leaving you with little to no leverage, meaning you end up with an insane workload and minimal payoff. There's always going to be someone who's going to do cheaper work than you. There's going to be someone in India. AI is also coming out. AI will do it for free. If you go in ChatGPT and say, hey, make me a free fitness program, people can do that nowadays as well. Okay? Big risk, small reward, big no. Instead, you want to be the most expensive option in your market that has the most respect, that has the most status, that is just an overall like gangster. You want to be like a cool guy who's just like, yeah, my program is this much. Hey, yeah, you want fitness help? Yeah, okay. I don't charge $200 a month. It's $5,000 up front. You want to be the Chad, in a sense, the Porsche. Okay? Nobody complains about paying a premium for a GT3. Why? Because people don't buy it for the cheapest option. They buy it because it's the best option in the market. And that premium price allows Porsche to deliver a premium product that people are more than happy to pay for. And your offer works the exact same way. Price signals quality. It's just human psychology. If I say, hey, listen, this cup of coffee right here is actually worth $30,000. What's going through your head right now? Oh my God, what the hell? That coffee must be made of gold. Exactly. And they've actually done a lot of studies about this. They did this wine study about two identical bottles of wine, same wine. Okay. They told people that one was worth like $5,000 and then one was worth like $50. And everybody said the $5,000 one was more like delicious or tasted better. Okay. And when people pay more, they expect more. And it gives you the resources to actually deliver at the highest quality because you have more money to invest back in your business and simply make your systems better. It's very simple. You charge more, you get high quality customers that are committed, you now have more money to spend on the back end, to invest back in client acquisition, to invest back in your systems, and now you're just going to get better clients. It's just an upwards flywheel. Okay? Next, acquisition and fulfillment. So the Pareto principle 80-20 applies everywhere in your business. The key is simple. Find 20% of the actions that create 80% of the results and double down. It's very simple. For acquiring clients, that means figuring out which acquisition channel brings in the most of your revenue and putting the majority of your focus into it over others. It's very simple. Okay? So, especially in the beginning, it's fine to try a couple different options. Like you can split test maybe like 3 to 4 different things in the beginning, maybe like content on different channels. You can have like YouTube, you can have Instagram, maybe paid ads, maybe a form of cold outreach, maybe a warm, like you can split test a couple different options and run that for a period of like 1 to 3 months and simply see which one's getting the best results and then put more eggs into that basket. It's very simple. A lot of people say like, oh, you just need one acquisition channel. I agree, but you find that one acquisition channel by doing the ones before and figuring out where your leverage is. Because each niche, each offer is going to have different strengths for acquisition. So this is one thing that a lot of people don't talk about. And for fulfillment, it means identifying the key actions that produce 80% of your clients' results and focusing on those and cut or delegate the rest. So I'm going to share with you guys a story about fulfillment. So what I noticed is if I onboard somebody in my program and I do it myself and I take a lot of time and effort and I spend the time, I do like the hour call with them. I go through the things like the full onboarding experience with them and I do that on a very high level, then that usually results in them staying longer. That usually results in them being more motivated from the jump, okay, having expectations set for the entirety of the program and understanding how they should act the entire program. So I realized, I'm like, okay, wow, if I can onboard people correctly, I can get these people to stay longer, pay me more money long term. So that's one thing that I'm not going to delegate because that is hyper important, okay? But for example, something like responding about general inquiries in the messaging channel. Do I need to respond to every single message? Probably not, okay? So how can I delegate that? Very simple, okay? So it sounds obvious, but almost no one does it, okay? Again, because it requires sitting down, analyzing data, and actually thinking. And 99% of your competitors would rather keep grinding blindly than think strategically, okay? As Naval Ravikant says, you can't get rich by working hard, period. And this isn't just about making more money. It's about making money with leverage. You want results that don't depend on your constant input. That's why you need to continually audit your time, look for low ROI tasks, cut them, and repeat this loop over and over again, just like pruning a tree, for example, okay? Every cycle frees up more of your energy for the high leverage work that actually scales your business. Okay? And business isn't just about making money just to make money. If you want the time to actually spend it and live your life, remember to gain leverage. Apply the Pareto principle to every variable within your business. Continually audit your time. Look for low ROI time sinks. Cut out as many non-asymmetrical returns. And focus your energy as the founder on the most important tasks, which you don't even know right now unless you've tried them. And I'm going to tell you right now that some of the highest leverage tasks just that I've experienced is going to be always in a sense of delivering your clients a really good experience, because that is an upwards flywheel. It's harder to get new clients than to continue to get clients to pay you. Okay? Content creation, so blasting media on a high level with good insights. Okay? Those are the top. I'm just going to give you two right there. Those are really, from what I've experienced, high level points of leverage that if you understand and just start to get familiar with, you're going to make more money in your business. Okay? So if you're a coach of some sort and you want to understand how to simply get more leverage within your market, how to create an offer that has leverage, how to create an acquisition system that has leverage, go watch some of my other videos. I'm going to link a video below that's going to teach you guys pretty much the method that I do with all of my fitness coaching clients and coaching clients in general to help them scale to $50,000, $60,000, even $100,000 a month in the online space. Okay, so thank you for watching, and go watch that video below. You guys are going to get a lot of value, and hope you guys found this to be somewhat interesting nonetheless. Thank you.